Okay, so this is just going to be a quick video basically going over which of these devices I recommend. So on the right we have the Anbernic RG35XXSP, I think is the name of it. And then on the left we have the Miyoo Mini Plus. So I've had both of these for a little over a month now. I've put in a decent amount of playtime on both of these devices. I think recently I've put in a little bit more on the Miyoo Mini Plus just because the games that I have on there are a bit longer to beat. I've been playing, Pokemon Yellow on this device, a couple of other random games that I can't remember, and then on the Miyoo Mini Plus I was playing Chrono Trigger and then Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga. So basically, just to go over which device I think is better, it's going to come down to a couple of different things. They're pretty similar devices. So the main difference is going to be the design. Obviously, this is a clamshell design, and this has 2 slots for micro SD. Both of them have headphone jacks on the bottom, both of them charged with USB-C. Battery life is pretty similar across the board. Screen is pretty much the same on the devices, not really anything too different there. So what are the main differences? Well, ergonomics on the SP are a lot better. The device is much more comfortable to play and hold for long periods of time. I also like being able to close it very quickly so I can just throw it in my pocket and the screen just stays protected, doesn't get banged up by my keys or anything like that. Miyoo Mini Plus is a little bit smaller, and so you kind of have to find what grip works for you. I've found that playing like this is honestly the best option for me, and I can typically play on this for an hour and a half, 2 hours before my hands start cramping a little bit, but even still, it's not too bad. I'll move to a different hand position, or you can even play this one-handed because of the size of it. So really it comes down to, do you prefer something smaller or do you prefer something, it's slightly bulkier but does have the clamshell design to keep it protected. Like I said, battery life and screen are about the same, so you're not going to really notice anything too different there. One thing that was huge that I needed to change on the Miyoo Mini Plus was the sound quality was not too great out the box. Basically, some games, for example, Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga, the audio would be crackling and very, very low quality, just didn't sound great, a lot of crackling, a lot of popping, and I thought honestly it was just, something with the device, nothing I could change, like, cheap speaker or whatever. Turns out you can actually overclock this device with just a simple TXT file that you drop onto the SD card. You have to name it something specific like core clock or something like that. Throw in the core clock speed, which there's recommendations online of what to use. I just chose one of them and drop the TXT file in there, reboot the system, and that's basically it. It overclocks the processor a little bit, and this fixes the audio crackling issue that I had in about 99% of cases. If you try really hard to listen for it, it's still there, but it's not really that noticeable like it was before. In terms of battery life difference from overclocking, I can't really say that I noticed anything. It seems like it's the same for the most part. If there is a difference, it's definitely not something huge and noticeable. I think that basically covers it. I guess you could talk about the buttons on the SP. They're a little bit clickier and require a little bit more force, whereas on the Miyoo Mini Plus, they're a little bit softer, and I don't know, it feels a little bit better to press these buttons. It really comes down to what your preference is. Do you prefer something more clicky, or do you prefer something that's a little bit softer and easier to press? I'm trying to think of what the other differences are. So we've got the screen, we've got the buttons, speaker is basically the same now that we've overclocked the Miyoo Mini. You could talk about the dual SD card thing. I think that's mainly so you can hot swap your OS. I never really see the point in using that. I have something called Nully OS, I think, and that's been fine. I have no reason to switch. One SD card slot here, not a big deal. Like, just buy a bigger SD card. You can throw all your games on there. One thing that might be kind of annoying to some people is you have this light at the top that indicates that it's turned on or indicates that it's charging if you have it plugged in. I don't think there's a way to turn this off. I haven't really done too much digging, but I didn't see a quick, easy way to turn it off. So if that's a problem, then it's something to keep in mind. Um, but other than that, yeah, these devices are pretty similar. I think I paid around the same price, something like 50 or $60 on Amazon. That price may have increased recently just with all the issues that have been, going on. But honestly, I can't really say which one is definitively better than the other. It just kind of comes down to what are you looking for in a device? Do you prefer the clamshell design? Do you prefer clicky buttons? Do you prefer something small like this that you can easily do one-handed gaming on? It really comes down to those two main factors. Everything else is pretty much the same. Same battery life, same time to charge. Both can just quickly enter a sleep state and quickly come out of the sleep state just by pressing the power button. This will enter sleep state by flipping it closed and then flipping it open. I think it's dead right now or close to it, so it's not on. But yeah, rear buttons, slightly different. Not really that big of a deal. I think I like the Miyoo Mini just because they're slanted and a little bit easier to press. These are kind of tiny on the SP. But other than that, the devices are basically the same. I think the purple on the Miyoo Mini Plus looks better than the green, but both are very cool. I'm a big fan of the translucent, transparent, whatever plastic design. Um, yeah, so let me know which one you're going to go with. Thanks.